When I discovered my boyfriend was cheating during Thanksgiving, I didn't just leave. I reclaimed my life, my furniture, and my dignity. From exposing his lies to watching karma quietly unfold, this story is about how the cleverest revenge isn't chaos, but moving on stronger and untouched. Before going forward in the story, please subscribe my channel and like and share this video.
If you've ever been cheated on, you know there's a very specific kind of silence that comes right before your world breaks. It's not loud, it's not dramatic, it's just a quiet shift in the air. That's exactly how it felt the morning everything fell apart. When I first met Daniel, I thought I had finally found someone steady. He wasn't flashy, he wasn't overly charming, he felt safe. We met at a mutual friend's birthday party, started talking about music, then movies, then childhood stories. It flowed easily, too easily. Within 3 months, we were officially together. Within 6, he had a drawer at my apartment. Within a year, I thought I knew him. I didn't. The first Thanksgiving he invited me to spend with his family felt like a big step. He made it sound important. "My mom's excited to meet you," he said. "My dad doesn't warm up to people easily, but he'll like you." I remember standing in front of my mirror the night before, trying on 3 different sweaters. I wanted to look nice, but not like I was trying too hard. I wanted to seem like girlfriend material, future daughter-in-law material. God, that makes me cringe now. We drove separately because I had to leave early the next day for work. That little detail ended up being the universe doing me a massive favor. His parents' house was warm and cozy, the kind of place that smells like cinnamon and roasted turkey. His mom hugged me the moment we walked in. His dad shook my hand firmly. His younger sister gave me that subtle up and down glance, silently judging. Dinner was perfect. Too perfect. Daniel kept his hand on my thigh under the table. He refilled my wine. He kissed my temple when he thought no one was looking. I remember thinking, this is it. This is what stability feels like. After dinner, we all sat in the living room. His mom asked about my job. His dad told embarrassing childhood stories about Daniel. I laughed. I felt included. I stayed overnight in his old bedroom. It still had sports trophies and faded band posters on the walls. We fell asleep tangled together. And then came the morning. I woke up before him. He stretched, kissed my forehead, and said he was going to shower before breakfast. His phone was on the nightstand. It started buzzing. At first, I ignored it. Then it buzzed again and again. It wasn't just notifications, it was calls, back to back. I glanced over, annoyed more than anything. Who calls someone repeatedly at 8 in the morning? The screen lit up. Unknown number. Then a text preview popped up. "Babe, I miss you." My stomach dropped so fast it felt like an elevator cable had snapped. I stared at the screen, waiting for my brain to correct itself. Maybe it was spam. Maybe it was a joke from a friend. Maybe. The phone buzzed again. "Why aren't you answering? Are you with her?" With her. My hands went cold. For a full 10 seconds, I just sat there frozen. The shower was running. I could hear him humming, completely relaxed, completely unaware. Something inside me shifted in that moment. I didn't cry. I didn't panic. I felt calm. Too calm. I picked up my phone instead of his. I stepped quietly into the hallway and dialed the number from my phone. It rang 3 times. A woman answered. "Hello?" "Hi," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. "I'm calling because this number has been texting my boyfriend." Silence. "What's his name?" she asked. "Daniel." There was another silence, longer this time. Then she exhaled. "Oh my God." My heart pounded. "You know him?" "Yes," she said slowly. "I've been seeing him for about a year." A year. The same length of time I had been with him. My grip tightened around my phone. "Did he tell you he was single?" "Yes," she said immediately. "He works with me. He asked me out last fall. We've been dating ever since." Last fall.
That was when he had taken me on that romantic cabin weekend trip for our 6-month anniversary. The room felt like it was spinning. "Did you know about me?" I asked. "No," she said quickly. "I swear, I had no idea. I thought he was just distant sometimes because of work." The shower turned off. I could hear him moving around. I didn't have much time. "Thank you," I told her quietly. "I believe you." "Wait," she said. "Are you okay?" I almost laughed. "No," I said honestly, "but I will be." I hung up before she could say anything else. For a few seconds, I just stood there staring at nothing. Then something unexpected happened. I didn't feel shattered. I felt furious. Not loud, explosive fury, the controlled kind, the kind that sharpens you instead of breaking you. I walked back into the bedroom, sat on the bed, and waited. Daniel came out of the bathroom with a towel around his waist, smiling like nothing in the world was wrong. "Morning, beautiful," he said. I smiled back. That's when I decided. I wasn't going to scream. I wasn't going to cry in front of him. I wasn't going to give him the satisfaction of watching me fall apart. If he wanted to play games, I could play too. "Your mom said breakfast will be ready soon," I said casually. "Perfect," he replied, pulling on jeans. "I'm starving." I stood up and quietly started packing my bag. "Leaving already?" he asked. "Yeah, I told you I might need to head out early." He nodded, not suspicious at all. That almost made it worse. As I zipped my bag, I thought about everything. The late nights he claimed were work emergencies, the weekends he couldn't see me because he had family stuff, the way he sometimes turned his phone face down. The signs were there. I just trusted him. We walked downstairs together. I carried my bag casually. His mom was flipping pancakes. His dad was reading the newspaper. "Good morning," his mom said cheerfully. I put my bag down by the door. And then I did it. "I just found out your son has been cheating on me, so I won't be staying for breakfast or any future meals." Silence crashed over the room. His dad lowered the newspaper slowly. His mom blinked. "What?" Daniel went pale. "What are you talking about?" I turned to him. "The woman you've been dating from work for the past year says hi." His face lost all color. His mom looked between us, confused. "Daniel?" He opened his mouth, but nothing came out. I didn't wait for excuses. "I hope you all have a lovely Thanksgiving weekend," I said politely. "It was nice meeting you." Then I picked up my bag and walked out the door. Behind me, I could hear his mom demanding answers. I didn't look back. As I got into my car and started driving, my hands began to shake. That's when the anger really hit. He had made me look stupid. He had brought me into his family's home knowing he was living a double life. And then I remembered something. Months earlier, I had gifted him a full living room and dining room set. A friend of mine was moving out of state and didn't want to haul her furniture. It was practically new. Daniel had just moved into his apartment and couldn't afford much. I surprised him with it. He hugged me and said, "You're amazing." Apparently, I was amazing enough to furnish his cheating ass's apartment. I gripped the steering wheel tighter. No, absolutely not. He didn't get to cheat on me and sit comfortably on a couch I gave him. That's when the petty idea started forming. And once it formed, it felt right. Very right. I picked up my phone and called my friend Mia. She owned a pickup truck, and she loved drama as much as she loved me. "Mia?" I said when she answered. "What's wrong?" "Are you busy?" A pause. "No, why?" "I need your truck." Silence. Then, "Oh my God, what happened?" I took a deep breath. He cheated. There was a sharp inhale on the other end. "Say less. Where do you need me?" And that's where the real fun began. I didn't expect to sleep that night, but I did. And not the restless, crying into your pillow kind of sleep either. It was heavy, deep, the kind your body gives you when it knows something toxic has finally been cut out. When I woke up the next morning, there was a small, quiet moment where I forgot everything. Then I remembered, and instead of heartbreak, I felt clarity. Daniel was blocked on everything.
Phone, Instagram, Facebook, even LinkedIn, because honestly, why not? He had tried emailing me around midnight. It went straight to spam. I saw the preview when I checked my inbox. Subject line, please just listen. I deleted it without opening. If he wanted to talk, he should have thought about that before maintaining 2 full relationships like some kind of overconfident intern in a bad sitcom. Around noon, I got a text from her. Her name was Ava. Still okay for 3? Yes, I replied. See you then. We picked a small coffee shop downtown, neutral territory, public, bright lighting, no drama. I arrived first. Not because I was nervous, because I like being early. It gives you control. You get to see the other person walk in. You get to observe. When Ava walked through the door, I recognized her immediately from the tiny profile photo I had stalked the night before. She was pretty. Not in a flashy way, in a calm, effortless way. Brown hair pulled into a low ponytail, oversized sweater, minimal makeup. She looked normal, which somehow made everything worse. She spotted me and gave a hesitant smile before walking over. Hi. There was an awkward half-second where neither of us knew if we should hug, shake hands, or just sit down. We settled for sitting. Up close, I could see she looked tired, not physically, emotionally. I'm really sorry, she said before anything else. I know, I replied, and I meant it. The weird thing about cheating is that society trains women to compete, to hate each other, to see the other woman as the villain. But sitting across from her, I didn't feel anger. I saw someone who had been lied to just like me. He told me you were his ex, she said quietly. He said you were obsessed and wouldn't leave him alone. I blinked. Obsessed? Yes. I laughed before I could stop myself. That's new. She gave a small, humorless smile. When you texted me yesterday, I thought it was fake at first, like maybe someone was trying to start drama. I wish it was. He asked him directly, she continued. I said, "Are you dating someone else?" And he looked me in the eye and said no. That part hit differently, because I could picture it, him, calm, convincing, so sure of himself. He's very good at lying, I said. She nodded slowly. I see that now. We sat in silence for a moment. Not uncomfortable silence, processing silence. So, she said gently, how long? A year, I replied. Her eyes widened slightly. Same. We both let out identical, disbelieving laughs. The math of it was almost impressive. He had managed birthdays, holidays, work events, weekend trips, all while juggling 2 women who had no idea about each other. He told me he was spending Thanksgiving with his parents alone. I raised an eyebrow. Well, that wasn't a lie. That made her laugh for real this time. And something shifted. The tension eased. Instead of 2 women comparing notes and pain, it started to feel like 2 detectives uncovering a very stupid criminal. We pulled out our phones, compared timelines, screenshots, messages. It was almost ridiculous how similar his texts were. To me, miss you already. To her, can't wait to see you. To me, you're the only one who understands me. To her, I've never felt this way before. We exchanged a look. He recycled lines, she said flatly. Budget Casanova, I replied. We both shook our heads. I broke up with him last night, she said. He showed up at my apartment around 10. My eyebrows shot up. What? He was panicking, said I was crazy, said he was trying to ruin his life. I leaned back in my chair. Oh, I'm sure removing furniture felt life-ruining. Her eyes widened. She actually took it all? Every single piece I paid for. She covered her mouth, half shocked, half impressed. He told me he walked in and thought he was being robbed. Well, I said calmly, in a way, he was. That sent us both into another wave of laughter. It felt strange laughing about something that had hurt so much less than 24 hours ago. But maybe that's what happens when the illusion is shattered. Once you see the truth clearly, the manipulation loses its power. He begged, she admitted quietly, said he made a mistake, said he was confused. Confused about what? Monogamy? She nodded. He said he didn't want to lose either of us. There it was. The truth. Not confusion. Greed. I think he liked the attention, I said. She stared down to her coffee. I feel stupid. Don't, I said immediately. He lied to both of us. That's on him. She looked up. You don't hate me? No, I said honestly. I hate that he thought he could get away with it. Something about that seemed to settle inside her. We kept talking for almost 2 hours. About red flags we ignored, about gut feelings we brushed aside, about the weird nights he went offline. It was almost therapeutic. At one point she asked, "Do you regret exposing him to his family like that?" I thought about it. His mother's shocked face, his father lowering the newspaper, the silence. No, I said. He made his choices. I just told the truth. She nodded slowly. He told me his mom hasn't spoken to him since yesterday. I tried not to smile. I hope she's enjoying the echo too. We finished our coffee and stepped outside. The air was crisp, clear, like everything had been washed clean overnight. I'm glad you called me, she said. Me too. There was another small pause. Do you want to maybe stay in touch? She asked cautiously. I tilted my head. Like friends? She gave a shy shrug. We've already trauma bonded. I laughed. You know what? Yeah, why not? And just like that, something unexpected formed. Not rivalry, not bitterness, solidarity. As we hugged goodbye, my phone buzzed again. Unknown number. We both looked at it. Should I? She grinned. Put it on speaker. I answered. What? His voice came through immediately, frantic. Why are you doing this to me? I raised an eyebrow at Ava. Doing what? You embarrassed me in front of my family. You cleaned out my apartment. You turned her against me. I let out a slow breath. No, I said calmly. You did that. Silence. Then his tone changed, softer, manipulative. We can fix this. Ava and I locked eyes. No, we said at the exact same time. And that was the moment I knew. He didn't lose one girlfriend that weekend, he lost 2. And honestly, he deserved the empty apartment. After that phone call, something in me completely shut the door for good. Not slammed, not violently, just closed, soft, final. He tried talking over us on the call. Can you please just meet me, both of you? Let me explain. Ava rolled her eyes so hard I thought they might get stuck. Explain what? She said flatly. Your scheduling strategy? I had to bite my lip from keeping from laughing. He sighed loudly, like we were the difficult ones. You're both blowing this out of proportion. That sentence, right there. You lied to 2 women for a year, I said calmly. What proportion would you prefer? Silence. Then his tone changed, softer, manipulative. I was confused. I didn't want to hurt anyone. Ava stepped closer to the phone. You hurt both of us. I didn't mean to. You meant to enjoy it though, she replied. Another silence. He didn't deny that part. That told us everything. I'm done, I said simply. You can't just... I can, and I did. Then I hung up, blocked the new number, again. Ava stared at me like she had just watched someone calmly defuse a bomb. That felt good, she said. It did, I admitted. We stood there for another minute before parting ways. This time when we hugged, it wasn't awkward. It felt like 2 people walking away from the same fire. That night, he escalated, because of course he did. When men like Daniel lose control, they panic. Around 8 p.m., there was a knock at my apartment door. I wasn't expecting anyone. I froze for a tiny second. Then I looked through the peephole. There he was, hands in his pockets, looking stressed, hair messy like he hadn't slept. For a tiny moment, and I mean tiny, I saw the version of him I used to love. Then I remembered the text. Babe, I miss you. I didn't open the door. He knocked again. Please, I know you're in there. I stayed silent. I just want to talk. No, you want to regain control, I thought. After another minute, my phone buzzed. Unknown number, again. Straight to spam. Then another, then a text from email. Please don't do this. The irony almost made me laugh out loud. Don't do what? Leave after you cheated? He knocked one more time. Can we just talk like adults? Adults don't juggle double lives, Daniel. Finally, I spoke through the door. There's nothing to say.
A few weeks passed and life started settling into a new rhythm. Not the trying to distract myself kind, the real kind. I rearranged my apartment, not because I needed to, but because I wanted the space to feel fully mine again. No memories attached to corners, no leftover energy sitting on the couch. It's funny how quickly a person can go from being part of your everyday life to feeling like a stranger you used to know. Daniel tried one last time about 2 weeks after the door incident, not through calls, not through texts, through a mutual friend. I got a message from Tyler, someone we both knew from college. Hey, Daniel's having a rough time. He says he really regrets everything. I stared at the message for a while before replying. Okay. That was it. Tyler responded, he said he's not eating, he's depressed. There it was again, the guilt hook. I felt the old version of myself twitch for a second, the fixer, the empath, the maybe I should check on him girl. But then I remembered standing in his apartment hallway carrying my own couch out the door. He wasn't depressed when he was juggling us. He should probably talk to a therapist, I replied. Tyler left it on read. Good, because here's what people don't understand. You don't get to hurt someone deeply and then expect them to manage your emotions afterward. That's not love, that's entitlement. Around that same time, Ava and I met up again, not to compare trauma, just to hang out. We grabbed dinner at a little Mexican place downtown. Margaritas involved, necessary. You seem lighter, she said, studying me over her glass. I feel lighter. I was scared I'd spiral, she admitted, but honestly, I'm more embarrassed than heartbroken. Same, I said. She leaned back in her chair. Do you ever wonder how long he thought he could keep it up? All the time. Like, what was the end game? I shrugged. Probably none. Guys like that don't think long term. They think comfort. She nodded slowly. He liked being wanted. By 2 people. Exactly. There was a pause before she added, you know what makes me the most angry? What? He made us question ourselves. That one hit, because she was right. For days after, I had replayed everything in my head. Was I too busy? Did I miss signs? Was I not enough? But the truth is simple. You can be everything, and it still won't stop someone who lacks character. That's on him, I said firmly, not us. She smiled softly. I needed to hear that. We clinked glasses. To self-respect, she said. To empty apartments, I replied. Then came the unexpected twist. About a month after Thanksgiving, Ava texted me late one night. You're not going to believe this. What? I replied. He got written up at work. I sat up in bed. For what? Apparently, someone reported him to HR. My mind started racing. For what reason? She hesitated before replying. For inappropriate workplace relationships. I stared at the screen. He told them he was single when he pursued me, she continued, but when everything came out, people started talking. Turns out, we weren't the only ones. My stomach flipped. What? There was another girl last year. Brief, but still. I actually laughed out loud. Not because it was funny, but because it was pathetic. He's not confused, I typed. He's consistent. Ava responded with, HR doesn't love consistency like that. Apparently, his job had strict policies about inter-office relationships, especially undisclosed ones. He wasn't fired, but he was officially on record, which meant his little image of being the charming, stable guy cracked. I didn't feel revenge about that. I felt validation. People eventually see who you are, even if it takes time. A few days later, I ran into him again. Not planned, not dramatic, at a pharmacy. I was grabbing shampoo, he was in the next aisle over.
I saw him before he saw me. He looked smaller. Not physically, just less sure. When he finally noticed me, he froze. For a second, I thought he might walk away. Instead, he stepped towards me slowly. Hi. Hi. There was no anger in my voice, no warmth either, just neutral. I didn't expect to see you, he said awkwardly. Pharmacies exist, I replied calmly. He gave a weak half smile. You look good. I am good. That one landed. He swallowed. I miss you. I tilted my head slightly. You miss me having me. He didn't respond, because he knew. I messed up, he said quietly. Yes. I wish I could take it back. You can't. A long pause hung between us. Then he glanced down. I had to buy an air mattress, he muttered. I almost choked. Because my furniture is gone. There it was, the physical reminder of his choices. I couldn't help it. I smiled. Hope it's comfortable. He looked up at me, frustration flashing in his eyes. You really don't care at all? That question. People always ask that when they realize they've lost power. I cared, I said calmly, while we were together. And that was the truth. I had loved him, I had supported him, I had shown up fully. But once I found out who he really was, the switch flipped. You moved on fast, he said. No, I corrected. I moved on clean. He didn't have anything to say to that, so I picked up my shampoo. Take care, Daniel. And I walked away. No dramatic music, no tears, just peace. As I got into my car, my phone buzzed. Ava, how's your night? I smiled. Just ran into Casper. Casper? She replied. The ghost of bad decisions. She sent back, still furnitureless? Yes. Good. I started the engine, feeling something I hadn't felt in weeks. Not anger, not sadness, closure. And the best part? I didn't need him to give it to me. By December, the whole situation felt like something that had happened in a past life. Not because it wasn't serious, but because I had emotionally stepped so far away from it. The holidays were coming up again, and instead of dreading them, I felt oddly excited. No complicated plans, no pretending everything was perfect, just simple dinners with my own family and friends. Ava and I had fallen into an easy friendship. We texted memes, complained about work, sent each other outfit pictures before going out. It was funny how something so messy had led to something unexpectedly good. One night, she called me instead of texting. You will not believe this. I laughed. If this is about Daniel again, I need popcorn. It is about Daniel. Okay, I'm seated. She exhaled sharply. He's dating someone new. I blinked. Already? Apparently. How do you know? She works in accounting. My friend sits near her. I leaned back in my couch, and headed my head. Does she know? Ava was quiet for a second. I don't think so. That familiar feeling crept in. Not jealousy, not sadness, recognition. The pattern. He's doing it again, she said softly. Of course he is, I replied. Some people don't learn from consequences, they just get sneakier. I feel bad for her, Ava admitted. I do too, I said, but it's not our job to save her. There was a pause. You're right, and we left it at that. A week later, something happened that I didn't expect. Daniel's mom sent me a message. Not him, her. I almost didn't open it, but curiosity won. Hi, I hope you're doing well. I just wanted to say that I'm sorry for what happened. You didn't deserve that. I truly enjoyed meeting you. I stared at the screen longer than I should have. It wasn't dramatic, it wasn't defensive, it was honest. I replied politely. Thank you, I appreciate that. She responded a few minutes later. I raised him better than that. I'm disappointed. That line hit me harder than I expected, because parents don't say that lightly. I hope he figures himself out, she added. So do I, and I meant it. Not for my sake, for his. Because moving through life like that, eventually it catches up to you. Right before Christmas, Ava convinced me to go to a small office holiday party with her. Not Daniel's office, thank God, just a friend's. You need to re-enter society, she teased. I never left society. You retreated. Strategically. She laughed.
Exactly. Time to re-emerge. I agreed mostly because I felt ready, and that surprised me. When we got there, the music was loud, the drinks were strong, and for the first time in a long time, I wasn't thinking about my ex. I was just there, present. At one point, a guy named Marcus started talking to me near the snack table. He was easygoing, funny, not overly smooth. When he asked for my number, I hesitated for half a second. Not because I missed Daniel, but because I wanted to make sure I wasn't filling a void. Ava caught my eye from across the room and raised her eyebrows like, well? I smiled and handed Marcus my phone. Sure. It felt simple, healthy, not dramatic. The real twist came 2 weeks later. Ava called me again. This time, she sounded serious. So, remember the girl in accounting? Yes? She found out. I closed my laptop slowly. How? She saw messages pop up on his phone. I couldn't help it. I let out a long sigh. History repeats. She reached out to me, she said. That surprised me. What did you say? I told her the truth. Good. She was devastated, I said. I know the feeling. Ava was quiet. Do you ever feel like we should have warned her? I thought carefully before answering. No, I said gently.
Life has a funny way of circling back, not to reopen wounds, but to show you how far you've come. By early spring, Daniel felt like a distant chapter, not a painful one anymore, just a lesson. Marcus and I had been casually seeing each other. Nothing rushed, no dramatic love bombing, no constant texting, just steady, simple effort. And the biggest difference? Consistency. If he said he'd call, he called. If he said he was busy, he didn't disappear, he explained. It was almost shocking how calm, healthy felt. One Saturday afternoon, Ava and I were at a farmer's market, walking between stalls, sampling fruit, pretending we were the kind of women who always bought fresh flowers. I saw him yesterday, she said casually, inspecting strawberries. I didn't tense up. That alone told me how much I'd healed. Oh? Yeah, at a bar. And? He tried to act unbothered. I laughed softly. That's on brand. He had 2 guys with him. I think he wanted me to see that he was fine. And was he? She popped a strawberry into her mouth. No. That answer felt satisfying in a quiet way. Did he talk to you? He tried, she said. I said hi and walked away. Proud of you. She nudged me. We're different now. And she was right. We weren't reacting anymore. We were observing. There's power in that shift. A week later, something unexpected happened. Marcus invited me to a small birthday dinner for one of his friends. Nothing fancy, just a group of about 10 people at a restaurant downtown. I didn't think twice about it until I walked in and saw Daniel sitting at the end of the table. Of course, because the universe sometimes likes irony. He looked up at the same time I did. Shock flickered across his face. Marcus, completely unaware of the history, squeezed my hand. Oh hey, you know Daniel? Small world. Small world indeed. Daniel forced a tight smile. Yeah, we've met. Understatement of the year. I felt that split second of old adrenaline, the kind that makes your stomach flip. But it passed quickly, because I wasn't the same person who had stood in his parents' kitchen months ago. I smiled politely. Hi, Daniel. Just that. Nothing more. The dinner started, people chatted, ordered drinks, laughed. I didn't sit next to him, I didn't look at him unless I had to, and when I did, there was no anger in me. That probably bothered him more than anything else. At one point, Marcus got up to grab another drink, and Daniel leaned slightly toward me. You look happy. I am. He studied my face like he was searching for cracks. You moved on fast. There it was again, that idea that healing quickly somehow meant you never cared. No, I said calmly, I just didn't stay stuck. He swallowed. I didn't think I'd ever see you again. That was the goal. He actually winced at that. For a moment, he looked like he wanted to say something deeper. Instead, he asked, Are you serious about him? I glanced over at Marcus, who was laughing with someone across the table. Yes. Daniel leaned back in his chair slowly. Does he know? I held his gaze. Yes. That answer hit him harder than anything else.
Because here's the thing, when you leave a cheater, they assume you'll carry shame. They assume you won't tell the full story. They assume they still hold some secret power over you. But I had told Marcus early on, not dramatically, just honestly. And Marcus had shrugged and said, "That sounds like his loss." That's it. No insecurity, no weird ego reaction, just simple understanding. Daniel looked down at the table. "I messed up," he said quietly. I didn't rush to comfort him. "Yes," I replied. Again, that calm agreement seemed to land harder than yelling ever could. Marcus returned to the table and slid back into his seat beside me. He wrapped an arm loosely around my shoulders without thinking. That small gesture spoke volumes. Daniel noticed. Of course he did. The rest of dinner went on without incident, but I could feel the schist. He wasn't seeing the girl he thought he could manipulate anymore. He was seeing the consequence. After dinner, as everyone stood outside saying goodbye, Daniel approached one last time. "Can we talk for a second?" he asked. Marcus looked at me, silently asking if I was okay. "I'm fine," I assured him. Daniel and I stepped a few feet away from the group. He looked nervous. "I never thought you'd actually walk away," he admitted. That sentence summed up everything. "That was your mistake," I said gently. "You thought I'd fight for us." "I did, while we were together." He ran a hand through his hair. "I didn't realize what I had. That line used to mean something to me. Now it just sounded predictable. You had someone who trusted you. That's rare." He swallowed slowly. "I'm sorry." For the first time, it didn't sound defensive. It didn't sound manipulative. It sounded real. And weirdly, that gave me peace. "Thank you," I said. Not because I needed the apology, but because I didn't want to carry bitterness either. He looked at me one last time. "I hope you're happy." "I am." And I meant it. When I walked back to Marcus, I didn't look over my shoulder, not because of strength, but out of disinterest. Later that night, Ava called. "How did it go?" You won't believe who was there. Her scream nearly blew out my speaker. "No." "Yes." "Did you flip a table?" "No." "Did he cry?" "No." "Did you look amazing?" "Obviously." She laughed, and I felt nothing. There was a soft pause on the other end. "That's the real win," she said. She was right. Not the furniture, not the public exposure, not the air mattress. The real win was indifference, because when someone who once had the power to break you can no longer shake you at all, that's freedom. And Daniel, he didn't just lose 2 women, he lost the version of us that would have tolerated him, and that was something he couldn't replace. After that birthday dinner, something shifted completely, not in a dramatic way, more like the final page of a chapter quietly turning. I didn't think about Daniel much after that night, not because I was trying not to, but because there was nothing left to process. He had apologized, I had accepted it, and I felt neutral. That's when you know it's over for real. A few weeks later, Ava and I planned a weekend trip. Nothing fancy, just a small beach town a few hours away, cheap hotel, long walks, late-night snacks, the kind of trip you take when you want to celebrate surviving something. On the second night, we were sitting on the balcony with takeout boxes and plastic cups of wine. "Do you ever think about what would have happened if you hadn't looked at his phone?" she asked. I leaned back in my chair and thought about it. "I probably would have stayed longer." "Same." "That's the scary part," I added. "Not the cheating, the fact that we would have kept investing in something fake." She nodded slowly. "He would have kept both of us." Until he got bored. That silence that followed wasn't heavy, it was reflective. Then Ava smiled slightly. "You know what I love?" "What?" "That the worst thing he did accidentally gave me a good friend." I laughed. Trauma bonding is undefeated. But she was right. If that message hadn't popped up, if I hadn't made that call, if we hadn't met for coffee, our paths never would have crossed. And somehow, that felt like a strange kind of balance. Back home, things kept moving forward. Marcus and I were getting more serious, not rushed, just natural. One night, while we were cooking dinner at my place, he glanced around the living room. "You've got good taste," he said, nodding towards the couch. I smirked. "Thank you, it has history." "Oh?" "Long story." He raised an eyebrow. "Is it the air mattress guy story?"
I laughed. Yes. He shook his head, smiling. Still can't believe he said that out loud. I think he wanted sympathy. Instead, he got flooring. That made me laugh harder than it should have. What I appreciated most about Marcus wasn't that he defended me or tried to play hero. It was that he didn't feel threatened by my past. He didn't compete with it. He just existed confidently in the present. That felt new. Healthy love doesn't make you anxious. It doesn't make you check phones. It doesn't make you guess. It just feels steady. Then came the final piece of karma, and it wasn't loud, it wasn't dramatic, it was quiet, like most real consequences are. Ava texted me one afternoon. He's leaving the company. I stared at the message. Fired? No, but close. HR investigation went deeper. Apparently, once patterns start surfacing, people pay attention. Multiple overlapping situations, multiple complaints, not illegal, but messy enough that his professional image took a hit. He's transferring to a different branch in another city, she added. I sat back in my chair. A new city, a reset, or maybe just a new audience. Do you feel bad? She asked. I considered it honestly. No, she said. Me neither. And that was that. Not revenge, not celebration, just accountability. A month later, I got one final message from Daniel. Not from a new number, not through someone else. An email. Subject line, goodbye. I stared at it before opening it. It wasn't long. He said he was moving. He said he had a lot to work on. He said meeting me taught him things about himself he wasn't ready for. He said he hoped one day I'd remember the good parts too. I read it once, then closed it. I didn't feel pulled to respond, because closure doesn't always require a reply. Sometimes the final answer is silence. I archived the email, not because of anger, just because it no longer mattered. That night, Ava came over with pizza. We sat on the floor, on my rug next to my reclaimed coffee table, and talked about everything except him. Work drama, future plans, dating horror stories.
Time has a way of shrinking things that once felt huge. By summer, Daniel wasn't even a topic anymore. Not between me and Ava, not in my own thoughts. He had officially moved to another city, and whatever chaos he carried with him wasn't mine to witness. Life felt steady. Not exciting in a dramatic way, not chaotic, just stable. And I realized something important. Peace can feel boring when you're used to intensity, but boring is good. Boring means you're not constantly bracing yourself. Marcus and I had settled into something real. We weren't posting each other all over social media. We weren't trying to prove anything. We were just consistent. One night while we were out for a walk, he said something that stuck with me. You know what I like about you? What? You don't play games. I laughed softly. I used to date someone who did enough of that for both of us. He squeezed my hand. Yeah, I can't imagine juggling 2 relationships. Sounds exhausting. It was, I said without thinking. And that's when it hit me. It wasn't just exhausting for him. It had been exhausting for me too. Constantly adjusting, constantly accommodating, constantly believing excuses that didn't fully sit right. Healthy doesn't drain you. Healthy feels simple. One afternoon, months later, I got a random message request on Instagram from someone I didn't know. It was a woman. Her profile picture looked familiar, not because I had met her, but because I'd seen her face somewhere before. Then it clicked. She was the girl from accounting, the one after Ava. I opened the message. Hi, I hope this isn't weird. I just wanted to say thank you. I blinked. For what? I typed back. For being honest when Ava told me what happened. I didn't believe it at first, but you were right. So it happened again. I felt a strange mix of sadness and relief. Are you okay? I asked her. I am now, she replied. He tried the same lines. Of course he did. I just wanted you to know I appreciate that you didn't sugarcoat anything. It saved me time. That line stayed with me. It saved me time. Sometimes the biggest revenge isn't making someone suffer, it's refusing to let them waste more of your life. I wished her well, and that was the end of that. Later that evening, I told Ava. "He really doesn't change," she said, shaking her head. "No." "Do you think he ever will?" I thought about it. "Maybe, but only if he runs out of people willing to believe him." She nodded slowly. "There's something almost predictable about people who lie that easily. They think they're special. They think they're smarter than everyone else. But patterns catch up, and eventually they're left repeating themselves to new faces who won't stay long enough to matter." The last unexpected moment came on a random Tuesday. I was cleaning out old photos on my phone. You know how they hide everywhere? Screenshots, old selfies, random dinner pictures. And then I saw it. That cabin trip photo, the one that had been in the frame on his dining table. For a second, I just looked at it. We looked happy. And here's the thing that surprised me. I didn't feel angry. I didn't feel nostalgic either. I just felt aware. That version of me had loved fully, trusted fully, showed up fully. And even though he didn't deserve it, I wasn't ashamed of that. Because being capable of loving like that isn't weakness, it's strength. What he did with it, that's on him. I deleted the photo. Not dramatically, just quietly. And my phone felt lighter, which felt symbolic in a way. That night, Marcus came over with takeout and a random bouquet of grocery store flowers. "No reason," he said when I asked why. "Just because." That's it. No guilt, no apology, no cover-up. Just because. We ate dinner on the couch, my couch, and talked about maybe planning a real vacation later that year. Something bigger than a weekend trip. Something intentional. As he leaned back and pulled me closer, I realized something almost funny. Daniel thought he was the prize. He thought he could risk losing me and I'd still fight to stay. He thought he could balance lies forever. Instead, he became a lesson I tell as a story, and I became someone stronger because of it. Ava texted me later that night. "Do you ever miss the drama?" I smiled at the screen. "No, I prefer peace." She sent back, "Same." And that was the truth. No revenge fantasies left, no need to check social media, no curiosity about his new life. Just calm. And calm is underrated. But there was still one final piece left to say, not to him, to myself. And that's where this story really ends. The last piece of this story isn't dramatic. There's no screaming, no public scene, no final shocking twist. Because real endings rarely look like that. They look quiet. They look peace. A year after that Thanksgiving morning, I didn't even realize the date at first. It was just another Thursday. I was making coffee before work, standing in my kitchen, sunlight coming through the window, and then it hit me. 1 year ago, I had been standing in someone else's house, holding in rage while pancakes were being flipped downstairs. 1 year ago, I had walked out of a relationship I thought was permanent. 1 year ago, I drove away shaking. And now, I was calm. That contrast alone felt powerful. I didn't feel sad. I didn't feel triumphant. I just felt proud. Proud that I didn't beg. Proud that I didn't stay. Proud that I chose myself when it would have been easier to cling to comfort. Later that evening, Ava came over with cupcakes. "I remembered," she said, holding up the box. "Of course you did." We sat at my dining table, yes, that one, and laughed about how wild that whole weekend had been. "You really announced it at breakfast," she said, still impressed. "I did. You could have waited. I didn't want to." She grinned. Iconic. We talked about everything that had happened since then. Her new promotion, my trip with Marcus that was finally booked, how calm life felt. "Do you think he ever thinks about it?" she asked suddenly. "About what?" "About losing both of us in one weekend." I thought about it carefully. Probably. And that's enough. Because revenge isn't about destruction. It's about consequences.
He lost trust. He lost comfort. He lost stability. And most of all, he lost access. Access to my life, access to my kindness, access to my effort. That's the real cost. A few months after that anniversary, I heard through a random social circle update that Daniel had broken up with someone else. Shocking. Apparently, she had found messages again, the pattern repeating itself like a bad rerun. And for the first time, I didn't even feel the urge to comment on it. No told you so, no satisfaction, just a quiet understanding. People only change when they decide to, not when they get caught, not when they lose something, when they choose to. And that's out of my hands. One night, Marcus and I were sitting on the couch watching a movie when he muted the TV and turned towards me. "Can I ask you something?" "Sure." "When all that happened, were you scared to trust again?" I didn't answer immediately. "Yes," I admitted, "a little." He nodded. "That makes sense. But I realized something," I added. "What?" "I'd rather risk trusting someone who deserves it than stay with someone who doesn't." He smiled softly at that. And in that moment, I felt something solid. Not butterflies, not adrenaline, just safety. Sometimes people think petty revenge is about being cruel, but mine wasn't cruel. I didn't destroy his belongings. I didn't scream. I didn't plot anything extreme. I took back what was mine. I told the truth, and I left. That's it. And honestly, that was more powerful than any dramatic outburst could have been. Because the opposite of love isn't hate, it's indifference. And indifference is earned. If there's one thing I learned, it's this. When someone cheats, they expect chaos. They expect tears. They expect you to fall apart. They don't expect you to calmly remove yourself from their life and take the couch on the way out. But that's exactly what I did, and I'd do it again. Not because I'm cold, not because I'm petty, but because I know my worth now. Daniel didn't just lose furniture. He lost someone who loved him honestly, and that's not something you replace easily. As for me, I gained clarity. I gained a friend I never would have met otherwise. I gained stronger boundaries, and I gained a story I'll probably tell for the rest of my life, usually with a smile. Because at the end of the day, he thought he could have everything. Instead, he ended up with an air mattress, and I ended up with peace.